Ladies and gentlemen, I am the Bald Kid Nostalgic, and this is SlickBlast RapCast. You know what? I usually have the wrist thing on my left. Got the whole Kevin Garnett thing going on. I don't know where it's at. I showered and it disappeared. It's going to be like the Goonies looking for One Eye Willie. And there goes the man with the plan. The journalist here. The journalist is here. The Journalist Sin-Seer. Salute to him. This will be pretty cool. Brad Rock, shout out to you. I'm hyped for this one because it's going to be kind of like a multiverse, you know, two Marvel characters from different movies, but merging into one film. It's almost like the new Spider-Man movie coming out, I feel. And it's a beautiful thing. You know, this is what we do in this beautiful hip hop culture. What's cracking, Brad Rock? My brother Brad. The mix and match should be a fun one. Actually, Thursday should be pretty dope. So, Bump, shout out to you. All right, I'm gonna send the brother an invite. All right, because he is a guest in the virtual casa.
What up? What up?
What up, my brother?
How you feeling?
I'm good, my brother. How are you, man?
I'm good. I'm blessed. I woke up today.
Hey, any day you wake up above ground, it's a bonus and a blessing, right? As they say.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, man. I think you just broke the record. You literally were the fastest to be on as I'm announcing you. You boom.
That's what's up. It was meant to be.
That's right, my brother. And I was just making a reference to us being Marvel characters and having our own series, right?
Right.
So I think this is a cool thing. You know, it's like a multiverse now. We're now in the same realm, and it's been overdue, man. So I'm glad I reached out to you, and I appreciate you, being down with the whole thing because I think it's
yeah, absolutely. It's all for the culture. You know what I mean? Anything about the culture, I'm with it. Plus, you're a Midwest brother, just up the street.
I love it. Yeah, man, I love it. Up the street, and it's not a bad drive. That's the good thing about it. It's literally.
I'm usually there 2-3 times a year. I was there earlier this year, visiting Gravity. You up on Grav?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Yeah. We
that's
kicked
dope.
it. Yeah, his album turns 25 this year, so I had to go get the 25-year interview, and
Yes.
he's got some gems and jewels in that one. So I can't wait to present it to the viewers.
Absolutely, man. And as I always do on SlickBlast RapCast, I show love, obviously, to everybody that's on. But I want to, I'm the new kid on the block. This was motivated by the pandemic, but I've seen you from afar. You've been doing your thing for a long time. So I want to give you your official flowers physically while we're here. And
appreciate that.
Yeah, man. I want to thank you. You obviously inspired me too. So that's one thing I want to establish.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. It started off as, an interview, and like you said, during the pandemic, and it just kind of grew. And man, so many people were all about it because everybody was locked in the house and had so much, to say. And, I'm very appreciative of the snowball effect that has happened. We're about, a year and some change now into the pandemic. And, I've met and got to know a lot of the artists that I grew up listening to. So it's been a gift and a curse. More of a gift for me. I hate that people have lost their lives.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people have also benefited from the pandemic. One being somebody like a D Nice. Yeah, we knew D Nice from back in the day.
Right.
But now D Nice is D Nice, and he's probably commanding a nice hefty charge, a hefty fee to DJ his party now. So I know pandemic for him is greatly beneficial, or has been beneficial. And, like I said, I hate that people have lost their lives and jobs, but it was also kind of needed so that we could step back, take a breather, and kind of pursue our passion. You know what I mean? I don't think I'd be doing this if we didn't have that moment in time. I mean, I'd be doing it, but not like I've been doing it. You know what I mean?
Right. And like I said, man, all of us, well, we appreciate everybody being on as well. Much love to everybody. I'm sure there'll be friends of yours and mine. And again, man, this is important. And I like to stress that, like you said, a lot of people have lost their lives. And it's important nowadays to say I love you to everybody, not just your family, right? Not just your family, not just your friends, people on social media as well that you build genuine connections with. It's important, man, because right now, like you said, life is it's unpredictable, man. It's a different realm now we're living in. So we have to count our blessings every day. And it's cliche, but it's naturally the truth. So,
and you've been seeing over the past 2 years how many of our hip hop heroes are dying almost every month. You know what I mean? So, I'm happy that, I've got off my butt throughout the years and went to go see these artists perform. And, you just never know. So I kind of urge everybody, when an artist is in your town, just go ahead and pay that $20, you know what I mean? And go support. It's not that hard. There's been opportunities that I missed just being on some, I'll catch them next time. And there may not be a next time, It's not like these artists are asking for $50 a ticket, You got KRS-One performing for, $20. Why wouldn't you? You know what I mean?
oh my, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's true.
Yeah. And, being from Chicago yourself, you got shows all the time. So you're kind of spoiled in the sense that you've always got people coming. So you may take the approach of, I'll catch him next time. And there'll be a next time sometimes. But, how many times has Wu-Tang came to Chicago? 18, 19 times, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I'll miss it this time. But then that one time you might miss, such and such passes away. And you're like, damn, I shoulda, coulda. So I just kind of urge people to go ahead and, support, because you just never know.
Absolutely. And I want to say, I love everybody that's on here. And of course, on both our behalves, we love everybody that's on here genuinely.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And all right, my brother. So you're in my casa. Take a seat and relax. We're gonna go down, take the DeLorean, and I want to pick your brain a little bit, man, because I know that we're close to the same age range, the golden era. So what was the first song that you can remember as a shorty that you said, damn, what is this? And I want to know more about these tracks and artists. What was the first song that you can remember, and where were you when you first heard a hip hop song in general?
I was going through the whole, third grade, fourth grade, 85, 86. A lot of people like to claim that The Message was their first song, or Rapper's Delight was their first song, but I can't recall, you know what I mean? I know it was special when I heard it. But I would say artists like Run DMC, Fat Boys, and LL were it for me. I'm not going to pinpoint what particular song, but I would just say the 85, 86 period. I was a rock fan first, because hip-hop was kind of, hip-hop really wasn't, when you went to the record store, there was a small section of rap. Maybe, this right here. Rap didn't come out every week. You got that Run DMC tape and you played it for the whole summer, and you waited for the next joint to drop. You know what I mean? So there wasn't every Tuesday, five or six albums dropping. You got your LL, you got your Fat Boys, you got your Houdini, and you played it till the words were no longer on that cassette, and you just waited. So, I would say 85, 86, Run DMC, and LL were it for me. So, and from there it just snowballed, until I knew it was it around 87, 88. But up until that point, I was dibbling and dabbling. MTV was it for me. If it sounded good, I was into it. Daryl Hall, John Oates, Michael Jackson, Madonna. We got that one Run DMC video, rock box, you know what I mean? But we wasn't exposed to hip hop until later on. So, being from the Midwest, in general, man, we just didn't get it as a New Yorker would get it, or somebody from
Right.
the big city. You're from a big shit city, but I'm from a small town called Anderson, Indiana. So we kind of got it when we got it.
Yeah, exactly. And the best part about this, us when we were youngins, right? Just coming up, listening to this beautiful music, like we had to earn it ourselves. We had to physically go to a store. If your cousin's roommate's brother didn't have it, you had to go to a Sam Goody. You had to go to a mom and pop shop. You had to go to these stores and physically, look and dig, So that the joy in that, to me, it's a term of endearment. I just miss it so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my oldest sister, she put me on. My oldest sister, she passed away some years back, but she was key to being older, thank you, and going to that record store and picking up the 12 inches, Sparky D, and like I said, the Fat Boys, bringing them home. My whole thing was to grab them and dub them. I didn't have the money, but I would dub everything.
Oh,
it sounded right. You know what I mean? My first physical tape that I ever bought was Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock in '88. That was when that's when I got some cash in my hand, the little $9.99 for the cassette. And that's when it started as far as collecting, but I didn't know it was going to be a collection. And I got money. I want the physical copy. So 88 was it for me as far as buying. But up until that point, it was dubbing, whether it was the TV, the radio, that was it for me. So I had massive amount of dub, but that just wasn't, sometimes you didn't get the whole cassette on the cassette. It cut off or, so yeah, that's what that's where I come from.
Yes. I love it, man. Or, for example, like you said, MTV Raps or Rap City. The VHS, I used to get, I'm a youngin'. It's not like I was working at the time. I was still young, living with the parents. So the one particular VHS, it was like, okay, I'm going to record these 10 or 12 videos. And then literally the next day, it's like, damn, do I record over The World Is Yours to put a De La Soul track? How am I going to do this? It's like insanity.
Yeah, that was my thing, man. I had millions of VHS tapes. You could make it to where you could put, I think, 2 hour, 8 hour, 12 hours worth of stuff on there.
Yes.
But I would just let it run, man, end up falling asleep and waking up to all types of stuff. But, when you caught it, you had to catch it. There was no going back to YouTube. There was no replays. You know what I mean? You had to catch it. And hopefully you caught, that episode of Yo MTV Raps, or else you didn't catch it till years later, or hopefully somebody had it taped somewhere.
Exactly. So since we're sharing these dope stories, and I love it, I love going back to memory lane. The first cassette that so just like God rest her soul, and she's in hip hop heaven, your sister,
right.
My cousin, he's about 6 years older than me, probably 7. He's the one that put me on to hip hop, and he was already kind of like, he had the turntables in his room. He had the CDs nice and organized, and he had the cassettes. So I'm just going through his stuff. I'm a little, not a snot-nosed kid, because I was a good kid, I think. I wasn't, like very like, oh, I'm going to steal your cassette and never give it back, like a lot of friends have done. You know how it is. We had that one friend like, bro, can I borrow that Diggable Planets?
Man, I don't even want to talk about those stories.
Bro, listen, hey, what's the movie, Big Daddy, Earmuffs? Old school is it, my bad. So, third bass, he had third bass, and then he had DJ Quick is the name. So I borrowed that cassette, and he's like, are you sure you want to hear this? Like, I'm little. He's like, make sure your mom doesn't know that you're hearing this. He was being cool. I'm a young guy. My mom doesn't want me to hear this stuff. Quick is the name, DJ Quick. I'm like, damn. If that album came out now in this time, I think they would be trying to censor the damn thing. It's crazy. Like, but it was just me being enamored by the variety of flavors of genres. Like, you had gangsta like hip hop. You had the underground,
conscious.
Yeah, you had just different styles. House party
Fun. You had
anthem.
fun. Kid and Play. DJ Jazzy Jeff.
Yes.
You had a choice of which angle, depending on your mood, what you wanted to listen to for the day. You know what I mean? There was no endless end supply to, you know, that era, you know, that we love so much.
Absolutely.
And I was also blessed, man. Like early on, I just had cool friends who were up way above me. I you know, they knew the dates things were dropping. I had one friend who would get the newest cassettes, listen to them, and by the end of the week, he would just give them to me. For nothing. Just he listened to it. He got, you know, what he wanted out of it. Here, it's yours.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And
wow.
I had some twin brothers who were also the same. You know, they would let me borrow whatever. So I was always kind of surrounded by the in crowd as far as music went.
Yeah, definitely. I would say you and I have that in common in terms of being blessed around people that were schooling us and already had that foundation solidified, right? Like you said, as far as the rotation, and we didn't have to go far. Like Best Buy wasn't around when we were coming up. So
yeah,
or specific record stores. So again, it was like word of mouth, and this is what I got. I'm going to pass it along to you.
Right.
But remember we discussed, so I started this, I came up with this idea, and it's nuts because I didn't even know Marvel started doing the mix and match, or it's called What Ifs. Like 3 weeks ago, I started this series called Mix and Match, and we talked about it. I would love to hear your 15, man, and eventually, you know, when we get situated and you're situated, I'll have you on as a guest again, and I'll have 2 other guys. It's fun, man. It's super fun.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think you would appreciate it. And I'm curious to see what your 15 would be. So it's basically, like I said, it could be Havoc with Possum News of De La Soul. The producer will be Rick Rubin. That's Mix and Match. Raphael Sadiq, Erykah Badu with Q-Tip. It'll be them 3. Producer will be Dilla. So that's an example of what Mix and Match is.
That's dope.
Yeah, man. So I'm looking forward to having you on for that. And man, it's always nice to hear everybody's ideas because we all have creative ones. So I'm pretty sure that you'll dig deep with that, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And I see gems, man. That's another thing. We are both hardcore collectors. I mean, and when it comes to hip hop memorabilia,
right?
What would you say, because you have tons of gems? What would you say to this day, near dear to your heart, that, like, you know, in the movie Step Brothers, what Dale on the drum say, he looked at him like, look, if you touch that, I'm gonna whoop that ass.
Right. I got asked that question before, man, and I really can't place a value or think of what particular piece I would hold dear to my heart. But what I will tell you is the most precious thing I think I have is my memory of going through the whole golden era and up to this point, being there, that feeling of waiting at the record store for it to open to get ILLMATIC.
Woo!
Those are things we can't, you know, we can talk about them, but if you wasn't there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When Only Built for Cuban Links came out, that anticipation. I got mine in Chicago at Gramophones a week before it came out. You guys were selling it on a Friday. It came out on Tuesday. That feeling, you know what I mean? It's just like no other. So physically, gem-wise, I don't place any value on this stuff. I love it all. But my memory, I think, is my most precious thing that I have as far as hip-hop goes.
I like it. Yeah, so basically it's memorable gems in your brain, and those are the best ones because
just the feeling, man, just the feeling of going to the store and seeing that new source on the newsstands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Finding that sticker at the record store, finding that poster, getting free posters, you know what I mean? I didn't know I was going to collect posters, but just walking in and they were just in the box, you'd ruffle through them. J. Rue the Damager's first album. I messed that poster all up, you know what I mean? Just doing what we do with sticking it on the wall. But little did we know that 20 years later, it'd be worth $300, you know what I mean?
It's insane, isn't it? It's
It's
insane.
insane. It's insane the amount of stuff that I ruined, but I don't know if I would take it all back because I was just living in the moment. You know what I mean? That's what we did. We ripped the magazines up. We put the posters in our locker. We
Yes.
put the stickers up everywhere. We wore the T-shirts until they faded. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Now you look and find the same thing on eBay for hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and you go, damn, I had that.
Right. As I like to call them, not all of them. There's some good humans on eBay that are genuine and they'll give you honest prices. But then I call the other ones the hype beast. I call them eBay hype beast because it's like, it's like, come on, dude. You and I bought ILLMATIC for $16, $17. You're trying to sell at the most, but you're trying to sell the original copy from the 90s for $270. It's like, why?
Sometimes they can just have it, you know what I mean? Because I know the ILLMATIC cassette when it came out was $9.99. Now you're lucky to find it for under, X amount. You know what I mean? So you can have it. You can have those prices. I still have, I can listen to it whenever I want. But if you want to come at me with those prices, it is what it is, and I'll just wait. But you know what I mean? The long box cardboard CD, remember the long box joints?
Yes.
At the most, they were expensive, man. That was like $16, $17.99. But the records were even $9.99. Look at vinyl these days, how much it's gone up. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, sky high.
So ILLMATIC was probably what, $10 vinyl wise, $9.99 on cassette. Can't find those prices. And even with the new stuff coming out now, even those prices are just insane for vinyl. You know what I mean?
Definitely, man. Definitely. And I agree with you 100%. Once again, SlickBlast RapCast, the bald kid nostalgic, kicking it with my man, the journalist Sin-Seer, a good brother from Indiana. He's been doing this for a long time. So, once again, this is a special one for me. And as we continue to preserve this culture that we love dearly. And again, man, I'm proud of what you've done. And
appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Continue to do great work as we proceed. So
no doubt.
All right. So I'm going to ask you as well, because these questions I love to ask. It's like barbershop talk, right? And then with your boys. So I'm a big Nas fan. Nas, to me, he's my number one. Like, the whole GOAT thing is obviously like oversaturated, but genuinely Nas he is my favorite MC out of 5. He's number one. I have to ask, do you see, because you and I and everybody and their mom have been waiting since 2005-06, do you see Nas reaching out into his Fisher-Price phone from 1988 and saying, "Hey, Preem, what up, dog? I think we got to give everybody what they've been waiting for the last 20 years."
That's ironic you say that, because me and my man, DITC, he's on here. We had a listening
Much
review.
love.
Yeah, there he goes. He says, "Uh-oh, here we go." He knows how I feel.
Hey, why not?
Do I see that? I don't see it. I think he's past that phase in his life. I think he says, "Hey, I gave you guys what you wanted. If you want that, go back and listen to it. This is the page I'm on. I'll give you the lost tapes. You know what I mean? I'll give you some tidbits. But as far as me reaching out to Preemo and Large P and Pete Rock, I think he's just over that point because, he really has nothing to gain. It's like LeBron winning another championship. It's like, all right, bro, you done everything you can do. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, Nas has done what he came to do. And, and I'm grateful for that time. I'm grateful for 1994. I'm grateful for ILLMATIC. I'm grateful for It Was Written, but that time was that time. And will it even sound great? The only way it would sound great is if we got those beats that they already made from that time period. Because I don't see like a Pete Rock bringing that type of fire in 2021. Give me a Pete Rock track that he made 91, 92, 93. I think we would have to go back and get those batch of beats and then see You know what I mean? But even then, what would the subject matter be? You know what I mean? Nas is no longer in the projects. You know what I mean? Like we may as rap fans kind of be, you know, over that whole. I mean, we would love to see it,
Yeah.
but we would just tear it apart. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we'd critique it and say, he should have just stuck with ILLMATIC. So I get it.
Well,
You know what I mean? It's just like I was talking to somebody the other day about doing their song in concert over and over. They may hate that song, but they know they got to do it. You know what I mean? So I just think with the Nas thing, he's over, you know, pleasing the hardcore purists.
damn it. All right. Well, you got his answer, and I appreciate it. It's an honest one, and
Let me ask you, do you see him reaching out?
I do. And okay, it's not fantasy world. I genuinely think that he's gonna reach out to him before he retires. I know that Jay-Z retired 3 times already, and now he's making appearances here and there. But I do feel that when Nas hangs it up, I feel that they'll make maybe a couple tracks or one. I don't think they're gonna do a full album, if that makes any sense.
You're talking about Preemo in general,
Yeah.
just Preemo?
Yeah, Primo and Nas just saying, all right, man, hey, you know, since we're not gonna do a whole album, because like you said, Nas is not in that realm or that feel, let's just do one banger and remind everybody how magical we were. So
Right.
yeah.
Are you feeling Premo's production as of late? Or, you know, what's the last Preemo track that gave you goosebumps?
Whoo. The latest Gangstar album. Specific tracks.
Okay.
The one with J. Cole, I felt something because just hearing Guru and the presence of it, I think that one gave me goosebumps.
Okay.
Just, you know, Diamonds. Yeah, man, I got to say that one. It made me, and I like the question, and this is where we start getting down. Okay. I noticed that Premo's been producing for a lot of new guys that for the newer generation. And cats like you and I, we're like, okay, you know, production is always going to be stellar by Premier. But it's just like some of these guys that are on it, it's like, okay, damn, how come these other OGs are not reaching out? Or how come, you know, so yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how a lot of these MCs, specific MCs, I'll say, it's not to be disrespectful because I respect everybody's, you know, genre and flavor. But when you got guys that are just like, okay, I just want to hear the beats and I don't want to hear him rhyme. It's like, damn, how come Primo can't? It's just tough. It sometimes it's tough, you know?
Right. You know, it just kind of goes hand in hand. You know, I just don't know if, you know, the producers and the artists just feel it like we feel it. We want to see a certain thing.
Yes.
And it's either one or the other that's lacking. You know what I mean? You know, I hear some of my golden era artists, like on the K-Slay 110 MCs Deep song. Like, it kind of made me cringe. I don't have it anymore. You know what I mean? So some of their verses were just kind of like, You know what I mean?
True.
So, yeah.
No, that's a good breakdown and analysis. But I guess, like you said, it's frustrating at times, right? It's frustrating, and the whole cringe thing, I feel it too, man. It's like, oh no, why? What happened to this magical? I don't know, this Midas touch that you had, and all of a sudden, it's almost like you're complacent now. You're lazy.
Right.
It's like you know, Nas, he's rapping about brunch and Sunday fun day, and it's like, what, bro? Like, no, let's rap about like, all right, let's rap about Sega Genesis or like how you flipped Super Mario Brothers 25 times.
Right.
You get it,
I get it. I totally get it. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what I deal with. You know what I mean? Like that constant battle of maybe I need to get out of my golden era and kind of explore. I have this big force field over me that kind of refuses to
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like I'll
Yep.
check it out. I'll check it out, but then I retreat to my golden era where I know I'm going to get what I need. You know what I mean? I'll dibble and dabble with the new stuff, but I'm not satisfied. You know what I mean? It's just everything that comes out is good for the moment these days. But then that particular artist is talking about my new album.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, you just came out with an album. Back in my day, you came out with one album a year, maybe an EP, but it was
Let's see.
you good?
Yeah, thank you, brother. Yeah, I was just gonna ask. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you caught that last part, but it was like, you know, these artists nowadays are coming out with 4 to 5 albums a year.
Yeah.
It didn't used to be like that. You know what I mean? It was one album, and
Yeah.
you were satisfied with that one album. You know what I mean?
Bro, it's crazy that you're saying that. You're literally like reading my brain as you're saying that. I was thinking it. I've ranted about this so many times. Like, you know, the get off my lawn rant. Like, look, man, it's not that we're old heads being grumpy. It's just that we're used to a specific gold standard and a pattern. It's just like a newspaper. Like the paper boy is delivering one newspaper per house. He's not delivering 7 newspapers. Why the hell do you need 6 or 7 newspapers? Unless, you know, unless you're the Brady. Yeah.
I think we were spoiled early on, you know what I mean? And I'm grateful for that because there's a bar that we can see that's not being reached whatsoever. You know what I mean? There's a standard, and I was talking to somebody the other day, Prince Poe from Organized Confusion.
Oh yeah, shout out.
We don't have gatekeepers anymore, you know what I mean? The people to call people out to say, hey, you're biting, or this is whack, or there's no more gatekeepers. So, you know, it's almost flooded. It's a flooded market right now of just people throwing stuff out, seeing what sticks. Oh, that didn't work. But, you know, they got so much creative control, you know, they can go and put together an album within a week and put it out next week. You know, they no longer have to listen to the record companies. The record company's going to make you wait, you know what I mean? But, you know, it's just, it might have been a blessing and a curse that the record labels put it out when they put it out. You know what I mean? Now the artists these days can put out however many they want and just hope something sticks. And to me, nothing's really sticking these days.
And well point, brother. Well said. Somebody, a gentleman on, because I want to obviously acknowledge everybody that's on here as well. We try with the, you know, comments go fast. Majority of these new cats just copy each other. Carbon copies, says the gentleman, John Kizzle. How do you feel about that comment?
He's absolutely right. It's let me look like that. Let me get that producer. Let me, you know what I mean? Back in the day, it was like you couldn't look like such and such. You better not look like Big Daddy Kane. You better not sound like Brand Nubian. You better not come with the style like DOS Effects.
Yeah.
But now it's everybody wants that producer. They want that look. They want that sound. They want that visual. Have you noticed those new album covers in the past 5, 6, 7 years are all kind of gothic paintings?
Yeah.
They're all kind of going toward a certain dark theme, you know what I mean? No longer can you get the simple album cover with the guy sitting on his car like too short.
Posing.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you don't get that anymore. You get the gothic paint album cover a la West Side Gun. I'm not saying he's biting, but they're kind of going toward the West Side Gun formula.
Yeah, it's like, there's like a goat eating a Big Mac in a freaking Denny's. It's random, but the point is, why are you doing that? Like, it's like they're trying too hard, bro. I feel like they're trying too hard.
Well, so, yeah, I think they're trying to play the safe route, you know what I mean? And, you know, I can spot it a mile away, you know what I mean? But, you know, I may be sounding like my parents who probably didn't understand me listening to DJ Quick and NWA.
Right.
You know what I mean? So what they're hearing may be something totally different to what I'm hearing. Their MC that inspired them may be somebody like a I don't want to say anybody disrespectful, but the MC that just came out 5 years ago, that's probably their MC like Big Daddy Kane was for me. You know what I mean? So you couldn't tell me Big Daddy Kane wasn't dope. In 88, nobody, but there was somebody, I guarantee, that was telling me, yo, Kane is whack. You couldn't tell me, you know what I mean? So for me to tell this kid that such and such is whack, he's probably looking at me like, you can't tell me that Little Uzi Vert is not, you know, dope. You know what I mean? And I won't diss these artists. They're doing their thing. Right. But I just don't listen. You know what I mean? That's when I retreat back to my golden era bubble.
You know why? But we are Marvel superheroes in our own way. So we have that bubble. That's one of our powers. We got the force field, like you said. And whenever there's somebody that we don't feel, we're just like, we step back and it bounces them off to the other side of the world. So.
Right. And another thing that makes me cringe is the golden era artists doing the new style of rap. You can hear that trap type of, you know, double.
I didn't get,
You know what I mean? There's just certain artists, you know what I mean, that come from our era that are trying to adapt to today's sound, and it's just nuts.
It's weird. It's weird. It just it doesn't. Yeah, like you said, it doesn't feel right. It feels forced. But one thing you and I can both agree on, and everybody on here, I'm pretty sure, every MC in the golden era, in the 90s and late 80s, like you said, everybody had an authentic style.
Everybody.
There was only one heavy D. There wasn't 5 heavy Ds sitting next to each other. On that side, there's right.
And there may have tried to be, but they wasn't letting it happen. Like, yo, you sound like Hev. Nah, change your style up. You know what I mean? There was a lot of people that had to change their style up. Look at Jay-Z earlier on with the tongue twisting rap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Before he settled down and was like, all right, let me come up with this style that's going to take me to the next, 25 years. Fast rap first, then 96 came around. He developed his style that he can still use today. You know what I mean? But don't forget, Jay-Z was a fast tongue-twisting rapper earlier on.
Yes, he was, and hanging out with Big L and all those guys, like, it was just a natural thing for him. And like you said, he had to switch it up. And he obviously built a brand and a name for himself doing that, adjusting to what we know now.
Right.
But yeah, man, I just think that it's like backwards now. It's backwards for me because all the MCs in the 90s were so authentic and so dope, and you can familiarize. It's just like the cap that you have on. You have the doped up down hat. Shout out to them. And then you probably have a Wu-Tang hat next to you. You have a Heavy D hat. You have a Pete Rock hat. They all have identities, and it's beautiful that you can rock different for different days and different seasons. But with the guys now, some of the guys, like you said, it's just like, my Lord, what? So here's the thing, bro. I don't know how you feel about this slow flow. You know what I call it? This grimy rap that's out now, and the producers are super dope. Let's get into that because it's been bugging me. And I know there's people that probably won't agree, but I'm one of those people. I'm transparent, and I'm going to stick with what I feel. I'm not going to jump on bandwagons. I just don't do that.
Right.
The homie Tribro said we could never do a mix and match with these mumble rappers. Nah, man. Nah. They would have to blindfold us and like, yeah, that ain't going to happen. And put it and handcuff us.
No doubt.
What you're talking about with the album covers and everybody's doing it. How about this whole phenomenon? And I mean that in a sarcastic way. Evidence mastered he calls himself Mr. Slow Flow for a reason, but he evolved and he's dope as a storyteller, a producer. You're going to know where I'm going with this. But then now you see, I'm not going to say who, like, we're being gentlemen, and that's good. I appreciate this. We have morals. We respect people. So we're not going to say names. But there's 5 or 6 guys now that sound the same, and it'll be this kind of rap. Watch. From, you already know where I'm going with this. It'll be a dope producer like so and so. I won't say who that we love, and it'll be like emotion roller coaster. I'm cooking crack in the kitchen with this coaster, but floaters went with the coasters because we cooking crack in the kitchen with these roasters. I got the swag, but you get what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying.
It's like, dude, what? How much? Why do we gotta? Can we just cook rice and beans?
No,
macaroni.
yeah.
Can we cook?
Right.
Let's cook other things and stop glorifying this because you want to be cool and you want 2,000 followers for somebody in California that thinks you're the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Right. And, you know, some of the production, man, that goes along with it. I'm just so tired of beats with no drums to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody's been taking the drums out. It's just kind of the background, cocaine, mumble. And it's just like, all right, you know what I mean? We'll give you this album, but the next album, you better come with something. And it just goes on and on. And I'm pretty much over it, you know what I mean? I was really into a certain artist or two, but I won't say their names. And they just kind of dove into that whole cocaine, guns. Yeah, I mean, it's cool and all, but we've heard it, you know what I mean? We've heard it. We come from 30 plus years of, you're not telling us anything that we haven't already heard. What are you going to do to take it to the next level? You know what I mean? Yep. So they're sticking with their little formula. Let's use Alchemist on production, and let's just talk into our, you know what I mean? You know, they just do what they do with the, like how you were rapping, you know what I mean? And it's just, I'm over it, you know what I mean? I'm patiently waiting. I would say the last artist that I really, really, truly dug was, probably Jay Electronica.
Ooh. Yes. You know why? He reminds me, I don't know, man. He reminds me, I'm not comparing him to MF Doom, but his delivery is kind of like MF Doom, where it's like unorthodox and offbeat, but it works for him. And obviously he's a lyrical cat, and he doesn't talk about cooking coke in the kitchen at all. I love that he doesn't talk about that. He's very subliminal, and he's Jay Electronica's dope, man. I think we're all waiting on an actual album where he can present it to the world, right?
Right, yeah. And that whole thing, you know, it's frustrating, but it works. Instead of him just putting out nonsense after nonsense, right? It's like he makes us wait. He gives us a song. You know, he finally, of course, delivered that project last year after a long wait. But, you know, that's cool, you know, if he wants to wait. But he's active, you know, he's dropping jewels. You know, I'm not asking anybody to be preachy, right? But don't do what the next man is doing. You know what I mean? Like, he's not really, you wouldn't say he's copying anybody. You know what I mean? He may have taken a few styles and implemented it into his own, but you can't just directly say Jay reminds me of KRS-One, or, you know what I mean? Jay is Jay, you know what I mean? And he's probably the last MC. Of course, I like newer MCs like Sky Zoo, Elzai, you know.
Yes.
You know, I love those guys. Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, we love those guys. But the guys that are getting, you know, in your face all the time, I'm just ready for something new. Yeah, man. And we could talk about some new school MCs, obviously. Like, what's his name? YBM Corday. I like what he's doing. Afro, of course, I like what he's doing. Because Afro, he's special. That kid is special. So guys like that, they're preserving the culture, and they're implementing it, and it's like boom bap, but for the modern new school heads. And I like that. And Marlon Craft, specific guys like that are Little D Raps, you know, the 16-year-old kid, he's special too. That kid, I swear, it's almost like Benjamin Button. Like, it's backwards for him. Like, he's 16, and, you know, like, he's 16, but how the hell did he just knows about that era because he studied it. And
probably his uncle, his parents, schooled him.
Right, exactly. You know what I mean?
So it's
I knew
yeah,
about, you know, Motown because of my parents, you know what I mean? You know, and I think that's what it is. Like the parents have kind of skipped teaching music there, what they grew up with, and just the kids are immediately diving into, you know, today's music without having knowledge of OJ's or Michael Jackson or Marvin Gaye, you know what I mean? So they don't, when you play that music to them, they're gonna say it's whack, you know what I mean?
right.
But
I'll give you, yeah, and you're right. You're absolutely right. I'll give you an example. Shout out to my nephew David. He's 13 years old. You know, he likes a lot of the trappy stuff. He likes Kendrick, he likes Cole, but he likes a lot of that trappy stuff too. So I played the Marco Polo song with Afro because I figured he's 13, he can relate with Afro. He's a younger gentleman and a phenomenal talent, of course, but I played a song with Marco Polo and Afro, and I'm bumping it. We're on our way to go shoot hoops. And he's like, you know, Uncle is Theo in Spanish. He goes, Theo, who is this guy? He's good. I said, that's Afro, man. He's a student of the 90s and the golden era, and he's done it well. He's like, man, I'm going to have to YouTube this kid. So I like the fact that there's certain kids, right, of our generation, of this generation, rather, that are open-minded. You know, so that's cool, right? Like, I'm sure family members that are young in your family are probably like, hey, uncle, put me onto this guy that you know,
absolutely. Like my niece and nephew, man, they just would always see me, you know, and now they're older, but they would always remind me, man, I remember when you put me on to such and such, or, you know what I mean? So they were always, and I would always school them. So, you know, I think that's what's missing is that older person in some of these kids' life kind of guiding them through musical history, you know, and nobody's, I mean, not too much to blame. Sometimes kids just don't have that older person to look up to. Parents are working, so it is what it is. But, you know, I think for guys like me and you, we just came up through the whole series of music. You know what I mean? We've seen the whole 80s, we've seen the 90s, we've seen the 2000s, like, you know what I mean? We got all of that. Some of these kids are just getting 2000s.
Yeah. It's interesting, you know. But I do wish in this oversaturated era of streaming and I wish that they could find a way to not necessarily like if you go to Blockbuster Video, you and I, we go to Hollywood Video. We're like journalists, bro. Let's go rent the Goonies and bump a freaking, you know, De La Soul, you know, and play some NBA Live 97. And we're like, that one particular album from De La that you and I are digesting, we are taking our time after 6 games of NBA Live and we're having a ball, chilling. And then you and I are genuinely digesting that one album from De La, and we're saying, bro, the album was nice. And you're like, bro, that's crazy, like nostalgic, that's nuts. And then we'll be like, hey, Best Buy's coming out next Tuesday with the Raekwon, Only Built for Cuban Links. So now we could take turns for that following week and digest it. Versus now, like you said earlier, it's 8, 9 albums coming out in one day. How can you really digest all of that? It's overkill to me. It's like, it's overkill.
It's overkill, man. I think, you know, the internet was the gift and the curse. Of course, you know, the struggle to find that song back in the day. Remember how you wanted that song and you couldn't find it? Like, that struggle is no longer a struggle these days. You know what I mean? Like, whatever you hear in 5 minutes, you can find it the next minute. You know what I mean? So it's just like there was a struggle. There was, you know, even DJs had bragging rights because they were the only ones that had certain songs.
Yes.
Nobody has bragging rights anymore. Like, you can get literally anything you want right now. That's the gift and the curse. Like, the gift is it's all you can eat right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the curse is there's no longer a word called exclusive.
John Kizzy, thank you for your input, brother. Thank you for being on with us. He said he's got to bounce. Shout out to him, by the way. He's been chiming in this whole time. Yeah, you're right, brother. And I just, I hope and pray that, 200 years from now, when none of us are here, I just hope that this culture continues on and somebody's holding on to that baton and continuing that consistency, right? And I just pray for that next
Well,
generation,
thank God for Instagram in a way. I got my man like DITC. He shows great videos. So he's like a flag bearer for carrying it on long
Yeah.
after I'm gone, and he can carry on and somebody's coming up under him who's doing stuff. I know Triborough does a lot of great things. So, things like Instagram and the things we do, it's bringing knowledge also, you know what I mean? Like, we don't have to wait for the magazine to interview us. We don't have to wait for the newspaper to write an article about us.
Right.
We can get on here and, just convey the knowledge, as we see needed. I try to do it on a weekly basis. I reach out to the artists that, I look up to, you know what I mean? Because basically I was told that they are like libraries. All that knowledge, and you're not reaching out to them. What happens when they die, man? All that knowledge is gone. And all you had to do was just reach out and get that. Like, I try not to waste time waiting around. I try to get all that good knowledge while it's still here. Just imagine how much knowledge Humpty Hump had that we didn't know. MF Doom.
Lord.
You know what I mean? Biz Markie, I would have loved to pick his brain. You know what I mean? So it's just like, while we're here, we got to just keep pushing what we love. You know what I mean? I won't sway. This is what I love. I know the feeling that it gives me. I don't do this for some type of gimmick or something I don't know about. I was actually there running to the store when Doggy Style was coming out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That feeling, kids won't never know anything about it. You know what I mean? So
it's a special feeling, man. And you and I are blessed to have grown up in that era, as for a lot of gentlemen and gentlewomen on as well. And I do appreciate the younger generation trying to reach and dig and learn about this beautiful culture, the golden era. So it's great, We need more of that. I think we need more of that,
Yeah, I see it quite a bit, you know what I mean? And I just pretty much follow. Those are the people I follow. You know what I mean? When I scroll, I want to see that something that makes me feel, oh man, that was 1990. I remember what I was doing. Oh, that was 95. Oh, I love getting that feeling daily of knowing where I was at and what I was doing. Music is almost the only thing that can take you to where you were at, what you were doing, what you were wearing, what you were eating, what you were smoking on, what you were drinking. You know what I mean?
Who you took to the movies?
Who you took to the movies, what summer you had. You know what I mean? Like, music, good music is the only thing that can take you to specifics. You know what I mean? Specifics. Like, you can tell me what was going on when I Got Five on It came out, and I can tell you everything that was going on that summer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, I couldn't tell you what I did the summer of 2010. I couldn't tell you what I did 2015. I don't know what I did 18. I don't know what I did 2006. I just don't know. But I know what I did all the way up until 98, 99.
Yeah. It's a soundtrack to life. It's a soundtrack to life, man. And like you said, it's a great feeling, man. Just knowing that. Dead or alive, I do this with everybody, every guest that's on. Dead or alive, if you're an MC or a producer, 3 people that would hit you up this weekend and would say, hey, journalist, let's get to it. It could be a B-boy, it could be an MC, it could be a producer, anybody in the 5 elements. Is there anybody that you would want to work with if you were involved in that, like just a collaboration with somebody?
As far as music or interviews?
Yes. As far as music, like let's say you were going to come out with something, and who would be like the ultimate dream team for you in terms of a? I had to
The
do it,
ultimate
man.
dream team.
Yeah,
I joked with my man Idea 78, I believe his name.
yeah.
Whoever I work with would not be happy with me after we got done working. You know what I mean? Because I'm telling them what I need, and if it's whack, we're going back to the drawing board. But it's probably going to be a Nas, Preemo, Pete Rock, LP, and they're all probably gonna be mad at me when the project's done because I know what I want to hear. I know what they're capable of, and in 2021, they're probably not willing to give me what I want, but I want ILLMATIC too. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
But it's got to be with a specific sound. Excuse me, specific sound, specific subject matter, and I'm not taking anything less than that.
I love it, man. And obviously, it sounds like we both love Nas that much, and I like it. I like that you brought Nas up. ILLMATIC 2, I think he can talk about current things now, but just the brunch part and all that, Sunday fun day, all the cliche Instagram. No, don't do that. Let's talk about.
But
Yeah.
to his benefit, that's what he's living these days. You know what I mean? We want our rappers to actually rap about what they're doing. He's no longer in the PJs. He's in designer outfits, living his best life. So, he's going to relay that the best way he can. Sunday fun day, Sunday brunch. That's what he's doing. You know what I mean? But it's a hard pill to swallow. Like, we're just not going to get what we want, but we got to respect that these guys have moved on, and it was fun while it lasted, I suppose.
Yeah. So this is that's why in mix and match, I would have been like this. I would have been like Nas, mix and match world. Nas, the new Ghostbusters movie coming out. Nas can do the whole soundtrack like Bobby Brown did in part 2, but Nas will do the Ghostbusters soundtrack. You like this? And then Q-Tip, Large Pro, and everybody else, they'll slide in there and be like, all right, let's make a couple tracks for this Ghostbusters. And let Nas talk about the movie, but like in hip-hop songs. I think that'll be dope. That's just...
It would be dope. It would be dope.
Man. So that's the whole mix and match thing. But yeah, and then let me see. I don't like Triborough said I don't like to hear him with Hit Boy. Okay, so
he had some joints. Like
he had some joints.
Store Run, and I think Rare was dope. Moments was dope. Like he had. It's like
Moments.
He had it, but then like the track with the EPMD, I don't like. You give the legends that
beats.
I don't like that. He also,
why?
I think on 40 side, he tried to do the trap type of.
Yeah.
The 5-track EP would have been better. Yeah. I think he could have combined King's Disease 1 and 2 and gave us a nice cohesive. A
nice blend.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I agree. So here's the thing. The beats that Hit Boy's production were good, like the Lauryn Hill, those types of like hip hop boom bap beats. If he would have continued with more of those, but in a variety, it would have been better, I think. But like you said, you can't put EPMD and Eminem on a you can't do that.
I'll be honest. I just heard Eminem's verse for the first time today because I couldn't get past a certain part of that track. Like I always would fast forward it, but I let it ride just to hear his verse. But it just totally doesn't make sense. You could have came with, I don't care if it was a beat that's already been used, like Rampage from EPMD. I don't care, but I just think the track was awful.
Yes, I agree 100% with you, bro. And that's hard to say that we're hardcore Nas fans, but I agree. I mean, he's gotta, man. So again, maybe Maybe one day, I don't know. I am an eternal optimist, and you know, my buddy Hector always tells me, like, he knows how I am. He's like, P, you know, you never know. Anything can happen, but I guess we'll just see.
It
I'm
could
not gonna.
happen. It could happen because who would have thought we would have got that last Tribe Called Quest album?
Thank you.
You know
Thank
what I
you.
mean? Like we wasn't
Yes.
expecting that. We was like,
No.
nah. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And it happened, and I'm happy with it. I think it was the best that they could have done for when it came out. What, 18, 19? You
Yep.
know, it definitely didn't stray away from their sound. So, you know, anything could happen. We could get a Fugees album tomorrow. We'd never know.
Right. And then, do you think that the okay, so the new Black Star produced by Madlib, is that going to be like another Detox and Primo and Nas? We're going to wait 20 more years, or do you think it's going to happen? Does everybody think that Black Star and Madlib is going to happen soon?
I think
It's already
gonna
done.
Yeah, I think it's gonna happen soon. But from what I've been hearing is most is holding the progress up. Most is you guys aren't gonna tell me when this is coming out. It's gonna come out when it's beneficial to me. But when that comes out, are we gonna be over it? You know, we were so hyped when the news came out. But
Yeah.
when it comes out, is it gonna be a nice rollout, or is it just gonna be like, oh, that new Black Star album's out? You know what I mean? Like there's no excitement, there's no rollout anymore. Remember when you got the magazine and seen the ad
Yeah.
and you got excited and you called the record store and they was like, we got it? That feeling, like there's just no rollout, there's no promotion, there's no snippet tape, there's just here it is and excuses afterwards. Oh, well, we were rushed. Oh, well, Most was doing a movie and he wasn't available. You know, it's just excuses these days. And you know, but we're coming out with the new album. Be on the lookout for the new album.
Yeah.
Like, how are you guys so quick to announce the new album and the new album ain't even a week old yet? You know what I mean?
Hey, actual facts. Actual facts. That's hilarious. Try Burrow said he's gonna hold that Black Star album hostage until we're 80 years old. Man.
It's gonna be like that Wu-Tang album that's in the box that keeps getting passed around. That's only one copy. Like, and did you hear? You know, like half the guys wasn't even involved in that that Wu-Tang album. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, they weren't. Yeah.
it's like, you know, the secrets come out after the hype is done. You know, I really didn't like that album. I really didn't. Oh, you wasn't saying that before the album came out.
Yeah, and you're right about that, bro. That's one thing about people. They tend to switch really quick nowadays. It's just
They wait to see what it's gonna do, and then they come up with that. Oh well, you know, that excuse, and it just takes away from that. Just takes away from the project. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. He's Most is a different dude. Yeah, he's a different dude, but still, he shouldn't be stubborn. I still think that he should give us what we want because you know we've supported them for such a long time. So I think it's fair.
I think he's looking for the monetary value. He's just not going to throw it out just to throw it out. He's looking to see probably which machine is going to offer the most money, or you know what I mean? I get it. You should get compensated for your work. But at the same time, man, we don't have labels like we used to. There's no longer that big timers, cash money, payout money.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, people aren't making money off of albums. They're making money off tours and merch. So throw the album out, hit the tour scene, and that's pretty much all you can ask for. You know what I mean? Just sell that merch.
Absolutely. Which, yeah, so I don't know, man. All we could do, like you said, let's just appreciate what's been done in the past. And we're going to keep celebrating it currently. We're going to celebrate it whether you're posting videos on IG or like hearing a cassette. So it's crazy. I have Stakes is High, the original one from, you know, when it came out. I have it in the car. I've been playing it in the car. And the reason why I've been playing it a lot recently is because we're all celebrating. I'm still carrying on that celebration of them having their own masters. And I know you're happy, right?
Man, those guys should have been millionaires a long time ago.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, like
bro,
they're the definition of unity. Like, you've never heard of Pos beefing with Mace, Dove wanting to do a solo album.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Whatever problems they had, they keep it in the closet. Like, how much did it hurt you to see Mobb Deep beefing? How hurt were you when, you know, the RZA and You God was going through their thing? When EPMD broke up?
Fife and Tip.
Yeah, exactly. That hurt. Like,
that hurt.
You know what I mean? It's one thing when these guys can work it out and keep it behind closed doors. And De La have proved that it's much more than a business. Like, these guys are truly brothers. And they deserve the world. You know, they deserve everything that's coming to them. It's a long overdue. But if these guys aren't millionaires, they should have been a long time ago.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I know you know, they're gonna be blessed, and you know, Pete Rock and Primo I know that we'll definitely get those De La albums very soon, because you could tell that De La, they're hungry, they're still hungry, even at the age that they are, and they're still young, obviously, God bless them. But before we have a couple minutes left, because I'm enjoying this whole you know, obviously this is therapy, talking about hip hop, man, and this is what we do. I gotta ask you, and it's okay to give one answer, but okay, I'm gonna ask you two. Are you going, if you're on a deserted island, you're hydrated, they're giving you unlimited Hawaiian punch, water, and food, and you're on this deserted island and you can't leave for a whole year, is Journalist Sin-Seer taking all the De La albums for the whole year, or the Tribe Called Quest albums? I know it's tough, yeah, bro, I know. And you were like, dang, why are you asking me this? But because I love them both. We love them both. But as far as they're yeah.
I'm going with Tribe.
Okay.
I mean, it's hard.
It's hard.
But yeah. I'm just going back as far as
people's instinctives.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, I can listen to all their albums. There's very limited fast forwarding material. De La kind of dipped with the AOI series to me.
Okay.
You know, I don't really care too much for the AOI joints. They took a dip, but as far as Tribe,
okay,
I don't really see, like, I can listen to their albums all the way through. There's a few fast forwarding moments, you know, every album has, but I would say as far as consistency, and I love De La now,
Woo.
But I'm gonna go with Tribe.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, who is your all-time favorite hip-hop group of all time? Because we have a lot of them, and it's hard to say. Every day we change it around, but who is your number one?
I'm gonna have to go with Run DMC.
Ooh,
it just doesn't, you know, I don't think we would have the groups that we just mentioned if there wasn't a Run DMC. Like, I just think they inspired so many. They, you know, just the memories I had, like we were talking about 85, 84. You know, yeah, Wu-Tang is great. Absolutely. De La, so many, but Run DMC it is for me.
Okay, I like the answer. And it stands out by itself. That's what I like about it. And they're trendsetters. You know, there's MCs that wanted to be like them.
I believe the first to get an endorsement deal with Adidas, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I mean? They showed a lot of avenues. You know what I mean? They showed that, yeah, I can rock on stage with a partner and my DJ's bad. You know what I mean? We can get this endorsement deal. We can get on MTV. We can do a song with a rock band.
Whew. Man. And the fact that they crossed over but still stayed dope and relevant.
Man, that was like a move that could have ended their careers, and Aerosmith as well. But they believed in it, and it just came off, and it was beneficial, I think, for both groups. You know what I mean? Like, I think Run DMC took it to the next level with that collaboration. Just as far as being known, just being as far as being accepted. Like, you know what I mean? Just for people who was just on the outside looking in, like, what is this rap? Oh, right. They're collabing with my rock band, Aerosmith? Okay, let me give them a listen.
Oh, wait, now it's okay. Let me,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that paved way for the Public Enemy, Anthrax.
Onyx and Biohazard?
Absolutely. It goes on and on. So, Run DMC all the way.
I love it. Shout out to DJ Daryl D, Zaya, the gem heads are in here. Daryl D said he goes with De La, but he memorized all of Tribe's songs by heart.
I don't think there's a wrong answer.
There's not. Thank you. I love that.
Like, we could argue
there's
all
not.
day, but at the end of the day, I'm going to see your point of view. You're going to see my point of view. You're going to be like, yeah. There's no arguing, really. You know what I mean? There's really just no arguing. Of course, De La came first. But that's the only edge. That's the edge they have. You know what I mean?
I love that.
They're the big bros out of that. I mean, other than Jungle Brothers.
Exactly. You're gonna laugh. You're probably gonna laugh. Shout out to the homie Brad Rock. He went to go eat a sandwich because he said he was. He's been on my mix and match consistently for the last 3 or 4 shows, along with the homie Try. Hector's been on as well. In mix and match, we don't have rules. We try to have fun with it, and that's what it's all about. There's no judgment, everything's positive, and we laugh a lot because some of our picks are outlandish, and you're like, what the hell are you talking about? Can you see? You're probably gonna laugh. Can you see Xzibit and MC Hammer doing a collabo? I just want to know what you think about that, because
Are we talking Funky Headhunter Hammer?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Oh my God.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And let's put Battle Cat on the track.
Yes. But Try said Brad has the craziest mashups. Yeah, so Daryl D says no. See, but that's the thing, and thank you for validating that, my brother. I appreciate that. Yeah, so Xzibit and MC Hammer, a full album, Battle Cat, like you said, maybe Rick Rubin, I don't know, because he dances, I don't know, like, it's just...
You know what, some things don't sound good, but end up good, and some things that look good are bad. Like, remember when ODB collabed with No Limit?
Oh Lord, yes.
You remember when Snoop was on Wu-Tang, the W?
Yes.
Some things just don't go together.
Right. I agree 100%. And Brad's actually on. He was laughing. Brad, I did that for you, brother. I had to let the world know that.
Yeah, I can see Funky Headhunter getting it in. I can see it.
All right, there you go. I love it. My brother, I know you got another show to do, but man, this has been special, man, because like I said, like you mentioned earlier, nowadays everybody's got a podcast. Everybody's got like their own avenue of communicating and connecting with like-minded artists. But I thought this was important for you and I to get together and do this. The multiverse, as I said earlier, and our Marvel force field that we're going to stick with and use for the rest of the year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I want to thank you for being a cool brother.
Yeah, no doubt. Thank you for looking me up and reaching out. And, like I said, you're just right up the street. So I'm sure my next visit, I'm going to reach out to you in Chicago. We'll go get a Philly cheesesteak or something. You take me to one of them spots out there. And, we're going to keep in touch. I appreciate everybody that tapped in. Appreciate what you do. And keep definitely doing your thing. You said you're the new kid on the block, but you're definitely on your way. So keep doing what you do.
That means a lot coming from you, my brother. Thank you so much for that. Anytime you want, my brother. And I'm a big craft beer guy. I don't know if you're into craft beer. There's a lot of dope breweries by your side of town that are really good. So.
Okay, yeah, man. Whenever you're out this way, I don't drink, but I eat a gang of chicken wings, so I know they probably go hand in hand. So we'll definitely link up. You know what I mean? I'm sure there'll be a dope show out in Chicago coming up or something. I was supposed to be at Pitchfork, but I had something come up.
Gotcha.
So yeah, let's definitely keep in touch, chop it up. Maybe we can get me, you, Tri-Barrel, and DITC on the 4-way on here one day and go crazy.
Let's do that. We'll do that. I'm looking forward to it. All right. Blessings to you, my brother. And keep doing what you're doing, man. Much love to you. And we'll do it again.
Absolutely.
All right.
Salute.
God bless. Salute. Peace.
Peace.
All right. You have the gentleman, the journalist. All right. Hey, that's going to be crazy. DITC forever. Yeah, man. Get on Mix and Match with us, bro. It'll be wild. It's fun, man. Matter of fact, this Thursday I'm doing Mix and Match. We're doing Mix and Match Part 5. All right, Part 5 this Thursday. And you said you're ready right now. Oh, I love it. I love the enthusiasm, man. I love it. I'm gonna go grab some dinner right now, actually. Probably. And it's raining outside. Damn. It looks like we got a little storm out here in Chicago, or in the city. Yeah, man. Brad, it's validated. Xzibit and MC Hammer, that Funky Headhunter, a whole album. I'm ready anytime you need me, my brother. All right, I'm gonna holler at you actually off the show, okay? We'll talk for sure. We'll connect. Fellas, much love to everybody that's been on. Thank you again, Journalist Sin-Seer, for being a good dude, a humble cat, and much love to all you guys that have been on with us, connecting and just revisiting all these dope stories. And I know Hector says, the homie Hector says, don't hold your breath, but I still have faith that Preemo and Nas will do something. And even if it's one song, I'll be cool with it. So, Jose, my brother, shout out to you as well, man. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate the love, man. I appreciate all of you guys. Oh, and please, DITC forever. Check out my new track with Elder Sensei, man. It's on Bandcamp. I'm gonna send you the link, okay? It's a soulful boom bap anthem, I call it. Soulful boom bap, feel good, just a positive, uplifting joint. And of course, I went the heavy D route and I didn't curse because I feel like I don't need to. I don't need to force that. My energy is not always doing that. So I'm proud of it. It's called Rusty, featuring the legendary Elder Sensei, one half of the Artifacts. So please check me out on Bandcamp. I'm a freshman on Bandcamp, so I'm new to it as far as that streaming site goes. So please support. So it's like $1.99 for the track, So it's a bag of Doritos costs more than that. So please support my track. And as always, I will spread love to you guys as best as I can, all right? And as always, I am the Bald Kid Nostalgic, and this is SlickBlast RapCast. Peace.